Hey, everybody. Oh, it makes you want to get up there and put your crazy eyes on. Hey, Joe Lewis here, Battle Rankings Live. Welcome, everybody. We have a couple things going on. First of all, I am here with my lovely and talented producer, Ann. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Why don't you tell us the music that we're opening up to?
Well, it's a chant from the native people of New Zealand, the Maori. Do I know what it means? Have no clue. But it sounded really cool, so I thought I'd play it.
So the question is, why the New Zealand people, the Maori?
Because we have someone visiting us from New Zealand.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're gonna have an interview here with Peter. The owner of Battlefront. Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Yeah, and of course, after that, we're going to do the drawing for the Toys for Tots.
So pay attention.
Yeah, so pay attention. So actually, normally we actually go into the games and stuff like that. I'm going to push that back, and I'm going to bring in our guest, Peter. Hey, Peter, how you doing?
Good. Hi, all.
Hey.
Listen, last time Peter was here, we played the New Zealand national anthem.
The New Zealand national anthem.
So now I decided to do some.
Right.
I remember the haka from school. Of course, we used to play it before. We used to all get up and chant and beat our chests before rugby games.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, Peter, I was going to ask you that because when, like my wife and I, when we went to grade school. In PE class or physical education class or gym, whatever you want to call it, we took square dancing at some point.
Yes.
Which is like a Western type thing, which, by the way, have you ever been to a hoedown, Ann?
I have never been to a hoedown.
Neither have I. So it wasn't very practical. So I was thinking, Peter, in grade school in New Zealand, do they teach this stuff? And I think you answered that.
My school, they did. I was lucky to go to a private school, and my school, they did. Yes, when the first 15, which is the main rugby team, played, we used to all have to go down there and do the haka. Now, it's changed a lot now. We've become a lot more culturally involved. So there's types of hakas. I think that one's actually a greeting one, but I could be wrong. I'm no expert, but that one's the greeting. It's a greeting challenge, I believe.
A greeting challenge. Yes.
Greeting, yes.
They get that crazed look on their face, like, I'm going to rip your head off. Oh, by the way, hello.
Yes. Pick this present up properly, yes. Otherwise, you're going to get a stick around the ears, yes. Yeah. No, it's No, it's very traditional New Zealand, and even still now today, the national rugby team still does a haka before every single game. So,
right,
and that's our main sport in New Zealand. So,
right. By the way, someone asked, "What time is it in New Zealand?" It's at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, we're talking to the future.
Yeah, right. 2 in the afternoon on a Thursday, and it's a bright, hot, sunny day here. We're in summer here because we're in the southern hemisphere. It's 26 degrees outside Celsius, which if I throw to my calculator for you guys is 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, it's 80.
Yeah, almost 80 degrees. That's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, actually, it reached 60.
Yeah, today was really unseasonably warm here in Indiana.
Yeah.
So that's what temperatures like what?
It was almost 60 in the afternoon.
60 are Fahrenheit.
Yeah, actually, Peter, I don't know if you know this, but not just south of us in like Kentucky, over the weekend, It was extremely unseasonable weather, which led to tornadoes, which led to mass destruction.
Yes, it was horrific. Yeah, I saw the NBC news on it, and those poor people in that Amazon warehouse. It's just
Amazon. There was a candle factory.
Yeah,
there was a whole town. I mean, just I think it went like it was like they said one of the tornadoes went 250 miles, which is like that's crazy. Usually they go a couple miles and they dissipate, and if they hit a field, they get a cow or two, right? But I mean, this just went right through a couple towns. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to them.
But it's pretty awful.
Yes, it's just I can't imagine. I watched that. It's like surreal. It's like watching a TV movie, sci-fi movie. It's surreal. It's actually real. Yeah.
Well, if you ever. It's one of those things I recommended once, but to hear a tornado go by, hopefully not too close. It is impressive.
We get the odd
like
cyclone,
a train,
and we live on the coast. We get the odd cyclone, and the odd bit of garden furniture gets bowled over, and they're very unlucky to lose a roof, but nothing ever. That's just that makes a cyclone look like a small breeze. It's unbelievable.
Right.
I think the land has a much bigger effect. I don't understand it, but the land it just amplifies it.
Well, the Gulf of Mexico sends up warm, moist air, and air coming down from Canada. Those two meet, and that's what makes the tornado.
They meet in the middle, not too far from us.
And so wherever that jet stream meets between those two, that's where these storms form. So the cold, dry air meets the warm,
wet
air, and boom. So with
we've discussed the weather.
We've discussed the weather. So how are you? How's the weather? Anyway,
international topic. Yes,
but so I know for the people watching who will watch this later, one of the things is. Pete, Battlefront is going to be doing another video,
an
announcement video for Christmas, like you did 2 years ago. So that what we're going to do is we're gonna. So you have that coming out. So the thing is, I don't want to duplicate anything of that. So we're going to be dancing around it. So if you're wondering, like if you're going to be asking, hey, when's the German bulge book coming out? We're not going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing things around it, but we'll let.
Do we know do we have the date for that video thing or no?
No, it's usually like
next week.
Next week, okay. Because we can promote that certainly.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
they should watch it. You should watch their video.
Yeah, we'll promote it, but yeah, they'll have that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, not duplicate things, but. So Pete, one of the things that I was thinking about, and I knew you were going to come on here, was that we discussed a couple times. I've interviewed you like a couple times, and the thing is, we've always talked about what was going on at Battlefront at the time. But the thing is that I was figuring out is that I don't know anything about you. And so I was thinking, let's talk about you. Like, for example, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're a guy that likes to throw dice, who's just in the position that you could have your own company. Am I too far off of that?
No. I started when I was about 12 years old, and my father was a fishmonger, and across the road from the shop was a library, and I found a book on there by Donald Featherston for war games, which I lent out about 30 times, I think. I can't remember. But I knew from then that was my hobby for life. I loved toy soldiers. I loved the war gaming, and ever since then I've loved it. And so, I've been a businessman my whole life. I've had quite a substantial fishing company. I've had restaurants. I've had estates. I've had various things. So I'm kind of, and I can't help myself if I like something, I like getting involved in the business of it. So it's almost like a mental disorder. So, yeah, Battlefront we started a long time ago when I was at university, but when when John Paul came along, did it really take off? And that's when we really got serious. We were already out with the first issue of Flames of War.
About what year was that?
Well, that next year is the 20th year anniversary of the Flames of War version 1.
Okay.
2022, so it's 2002. Next year, we've got lots of stuff planned around there I can't talk about, so don't ask.
Okay.
But yeah, we got lots of cool stuff planned. We're going to do some stuff in the new year, but it was middle of last year. I remember we had to get it out on time, and the graphic designer worked his honeymoon to get it finished. Dion, he worked hard, and we got it out. That was the first version of Flames of War. 20 years now, 20 years old, which makes us old, Joe. It makes us very old. But yeah, that's a bit of me. I love the gaming hobby. I love gaming. I throw dice whenever I can. Yes, I love being in the industry. I'm now semi-retired, and I'm lucky that I can go to Battlefront almost every day and work, and I enjoy every minute of it. It's a privilege, and I'm very privileged to be able to do it.
Well, so what was the first game you played?
First game I ever played, Tactics 2, was the first board game I ever played.
Tactics 2?
Yes, I'm sure. I actually got an old. Somebody got lost in a bit of water damage, and I bought one recently on our version of eBay, which is called Trade Me Here, and I found that one. I'm not going to play it, but obviously it was, it was very cool. And so Tactics 2 are not a very good game by today's standards, but that was my first board game. Yeah, so I just loved history, World War II, Napoleonics, ancients. I played modern. Of course, we played modern when it was in the 80s. We played Team Yankee World War III when it was current today. I remember getting the Jane's magazines, and the Challenger tank came out, and we have to get a new model. Yeah. So we're lucky, really.
Yeah. No, I think you were talking about you were like around 12 years old when you found the book in the library and stuff like that. Similar to me, I was around that 12 years old point. Getting it, started getting into games and stuff. I was first role play. Was Judges Guild Melee was the first, which is like really old as far as games go. I didn't go too far, and then of course that led into D&D, and then Micro Armor and and then some World War II stuff. And
we all did that. That's how we played modern, was Micro Armor, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Do I paint my own armies? Not anymore, James. Not for a long time.
Yeah. No, I unfortunately I don't have as much free time as I had back when I was 12 years old.
Yes, I painted everything then, and I played a lot of role playing, and it's been a great hobby, and if you got a hobby like this, you're never ever bored in your life. That's for sure. It's a great hobby.
Right. Are you the role playing?
He's older than I am, Rick. You are older than I am.
Yeah.
This historical board game. Which one was it, Rick?
Yeah, Rich.
Is Rich there with you?
Yeah, Rich Bear. Yeah, I call him the mayor of Pittsburgh. Yeah, he lives in Pittsburgh, and he loves everything about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Why he's catching up with that? Okay. So role playing. You play do you play D&D now?
I have played it.
Okay. What's your favorite character class?
Oh, warrior, yeah, or cleric, warrior or cleric, but warrior, yeah, I get it's a fighter.
A fighter.
D&D
Okay.
fighter. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I hit it with a sword. Yes, when in doubt, hit it harder.
Hit him harder. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I love, but I played everything. My first character was actually a magic user. And we actually, I brought in the Dragonlance books into New Zealand. I was fortunate to get those when they came 3 in a box by SBI. Yeah, and we started a campaign, and I don't play it anymore, but that was in the 80s, and that campaign's still running now.
Oh, some of the guys in it.
A few people and transferred through, and people have gone overseas, come back, had families come and go. But that campaign, multi-DM, multiplayer campaign, still running today. Amazing. Oh. It's a great hobby. We're very lucky to have a hobby that we love like this. And I'm sure other hobbies are good too. I don't know, but I love this hobby.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, I've made some really good friends through it. Also, so a little story time. So, I played some football, American football, in high school, and I also played. I had a group that I played D&D with. That was a school group, right? And one day we were playing. The D&D group was playing football. We actually went out and we were playing football tag, and a bunch of guys I know from the football team come to the same field to play. So they challenged us to a game. So I got a bunch of gamer, nerds, right? And against a bunch of people that play football. Well, you ready for this? We destroyed them. And you want to know why?
No.
Teamwork.
Yes.
As gamers, we're all used to teamwork. Yeah, that's American football, right? Yeah, and they, without a coach, they had no idea. Everyone wanted to go out for the pass, and we all knew our roles, and we all played it well, and we just destroyed them. So, but it's just one of those things about a game like that. Some of the soft skills you learn when playing. So,
I think one of the great things was the story I tell is. And I think we all older players suffer this. We didn't talk about our hobby as much as we should have done when we were younger. And I was a guy in the fishing industry, very senior guy in Maori for fisheries, very nice guy. And we had lots of meetings and done. And one day I saw him at a war convention, and he was a Napoleonic player. And it was just surreal because we never discussed it. And that was, I think today people talk about stuff a lot more about their hobbies and stuff. And I think that's a lot healthier. The hobby is a lot healthier because of it, and it's good. Well, let me ask something interesting to me. Somebody asked about the Pacific.
Yeah.
Our intention is the current intention. Do not hold me to this, please. But is April 2023 is the mid-war Pacific compilation is the plan. So I'm happy to answer questions about stuff and. I hope that answers that guy's question who's dropped down. Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan Mayer. Yeah, he's out of Ohio.
Yeah, that's the current plan, Jonathan. So I hope that helps. But I'm happy to answer all questions but no, it's been a great time. And Battlefront was military miniatures before that, and it was replica models before that. So Crusader games, Pendragon games has been through it. It started as a retail shop, and it was another New Zealand company that made some miniatures, and we formed together. So it's a very old company. It started in the 60s, actually, the original game. The company, my company I started was in the 80s. So there are, there's a bit of history there.
Yeah. Well, and then you have Gale Force 9 also, which is does all that
useful stuff.
Useful stuff, like we have all the cards for D&D and stuff like that, and
I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's when Anne plays as a spell slinger of some sort.
D&D.
Yeah, she's got all her cards. And she's
I love the cards. I don't know why. I just love
the cards are just they're a no-brainer. The cards, aren't they? They're great.
Yeah.
The Gale Force Nine is doing well. Got lots of new board games where we do lots of licensed stuff through Gale Force 9. That's great. We've got Star Trek. June, of course, is just firing. Hopefully everyone's gone to see the movie. The movie's well worth seeing.
D&D figures, too.
The D&D figures, they do some. They don't do...
Yeah, we do the painters figures. We don't do the generic figures. So they come in kits. Yeah.
Yeah, we get the 2 figures for like $5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do it a little bit higher end. I got Mince and Boo and a couple other ones. Anyway,
we've got a Mince and Boo bust coming soon. Very cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you might enjoy that. That's very cool. I had one of it here, and I had to take it back to work. Yeah. That's actually very cool.
Yeah.
Will Flash War ever get named hero units or cards? We mainly leave that to the command cards. They're in the command cards, James. Bering Sea patrols. Good. Ooh, that's cold up there.
Yeah, well, that's a good place to do a D&D campaign. Yeah, well,
that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of military, a lot of downtime being able to do that stuff, during their downtime.
Oh, you should bring those guys, statements that.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah,
because I can bring them up.
So
Philip here. I ran a D&D on my ship for the crew. The Bering Sea patrols definitely becomes more cultural encouragement. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
That was the question you answered earlier.
Mainly command cards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will handle that through command cards more than specific boxes. And it's mainly because of just code spread. We got thousands of codes already, and it's just.
Well, actually, that's one of the questions I have for you. Is that I don't know where I heard it, but are you going to be combining codes, like, for example, Churchills, for example, having early Churchills, mid Churchill, the earliest Churchills, all the way to the crocodiles in one kit, so that the store guy just needs to buy a bunch of one SKU, and then whatever you need mid-war Churchills, you need Russian Churchills. Here's the one SKU. I'm just going to have a bunch of one SKU. Is that the direction?
Yes, but no for Churchills.
Well,
There's
okay.
a couple of sprues, and the reason is for Churchills is the sprue's huge. If you included everything on the sprue, the box would be ridiculously large. So Churchill, generally, that's what we're doing. EM113 is a good example where it's got about, I think, 9 flags on it now on the latest box, because it's good for all those different countries. So you're going to get a lot more of that in EM109 and Team Yankee. Lots of this sort of stuff, Shermans and stuff. You're going to have one only. Yeah, you're going to have the core box, but yeah. So generally, yes. Churchill, no. Sorry, Joe, if you picked the one that's the exception, yeah.
Oh, well, it's the one I knew that had the most variation.
But that sprue would be over a foot long. It's just it's our biggest sprue ever. It's just massive. So we turn bits of it on. You have taps in the sprues. You turn bits of it on and off to make it work. So that one's a bit different.
Okay. By the way, I think I mentioned this before. I love painting the plastics versus, from, yesteryear. But the plastics, you guys have come a long way on making those plastics and how it's real easy to hit all that detail.
Yeah, no, we're getting good at the plastics, and I'm very pleased. And there's a lot more stuff coming. We've got, obviously the Bowles Germans. We're going to get that King Tiger to Beetle, and that's the final. That's a lovely little kit. So we've got a question here from Nathan, if you can put it up.
Yeah, sure.
I'm happy.
Nathan from Minnesota. Sorry if I missed it, but would Battlefront be interested in an Italy supplement for late war? Hermann German Germans and Nicey Americans, first special services, and etc. Yeah, a supplement, or pamphlet, or a PDF.
Wayne has put up a proposal, and we're actually going to discuss it. I think it's going to go ahead. An Italy campaign command pack proposal with a booklet, which will have force diagrams for Italy and have all those other special things in there. Nicey Americans and stuff, yeah. So, and they'll be done with command cards. But yes, I've looked at it, but I without going through now. But it would be for the British and the Italians and the Germans in Italy, yes. So that's Wayne's put. I don't know when we'll do it, but Wayne's put the proposal up, and I'm sure it's going to go ahead. I'm almost certain.
Okay, and did you say that will include Italians?
Sorry,
will that include Italians?
I don't. I haven't looked at this proposal for a couple of weeks, so.
Okay.
God, I don't know. I don't know. I have to talk some more with Wayne about it. I don't know, but it is a proposal to cover all that Italian stuff. I can that without getting into. I don't have the details, and he's done a proposal, so it's at the very early stage too. So,
all right, that's good. And Italy is one of those that gets gamers excited. The other one's Market Garden. I don't know.
Yeah.
People love Market Garden.
Yep, we're bringing the old Market Garden campaign pack back. We're working on that. That's a great game. Centurions, yeah. Philip, do you want to put Philip's question there?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hold on. Philip up here. Any chance Centurions in late war?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, that's the answer. And yes, we'd do. We're going to do the Centurion for World War III anyway. It's on the list.
All right.
Tied in with the NATO books, which is 2023, I think, is the plan. So the Centurion will be in there. And Market Garden, if that works well with Italy, we'll definitely do the same with Market Garden. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Italy's got a horrible sort of the Italian campaign. Has got us sort of, they call them D-Day dodgers, didn't they? And they weren't treated very well, and it had that. I got a history of one of the black divisions, American. They got treated badly, and it was one of those campaigns. It's very interesting, but it's very difficult campaign. So we do that. And Market Garden, we're bringing the whole camp. We're bringing the Firestorm game back again, like we did with Bagration, and So
I think the Italy guys had a lot rougher than the France guys. A ton.
I went recently to the 50 years of 60 years, must be 60 years, sorry. And it's a few years ago, Monte Cassino. And it was a formal dinner. I got invited to it. It was very cool. So, I got me which anniversary it was wrong, but might be 75 years or something. I can't remember, but it was a couple of years ago. Might be longer now. But anyway, and it was a lovely dinner and a great dinner. But actually listening to some of the stories and stuff, and particularly the Poles, they took a pounding, and the American troops there, and the British and New Zealand troops, and what a
right.
Brian, can you put Brian's question up? Brian
Coaches from Texas.
No, the one above that.
Oh, he's still from Texas. Will there be late war monsters?
Well, we will do. Listen, we want to do the mouse and the big twin tracked American thing, and listen, I don't know how we're going to do it, Brian, yet, but we are. Listen, they're plastic kits we're going to do. Can you get to Brian's next question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, that is definitely Checkpoint Charlie is definitely in our list. I've talked about it before. I think that's where you got it from. But yes, and it will be the same. It's early TVAC, early World War III. So it will be the points will work with NAM and Fate of a Nation.
Well, that's excellent.
Any more personal questions for him?
Oh no! I mean, no. The guys.
The guys are taking over.
The guys are basically the peanut gallery is taking over. The battle rankings live armies posting their questions, which is pretty good. They're good.
Oh, Phil has an actual personal question for him.
Oh, okay. All right, Phil. Of all the gaming periods, early war, what's your favorite and why?
Late war Europe. That's where I cut my teeth on. Normandy and Europe, Bocage fighting all around through there. Late war France and early war France as well. Those are the battles in France I like. I love the early war battles in France, the Charbis and all that stuff. And I love the late war France as well. It's a fantastic period. And late war France is where there you are.
Yeah. Well, it also has all the toys, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that when the world, the D-Day thing. I have that feeling the world held its breath. The whole world would have held its breath to see how the landings went. And everyone around the world, even I speak down in New Zealand and America and obviously in Germany and Russia and everywhere else, everyone held their breath, hoping the Allies could hold. And if the Allies didn't hold, what would have happened? So it was, and all the technology in the world, there was not one bit spared. Everything that was able to be sent and everything that was able to be done was done there. And that point in time was that tipping point, I suppose. But you can imagine the stress at the time if you sat around listening to the radio and trying to hope that they could hold on and they could win. Yeah.
Yeah, because nothing was certain.
But really, what Brian says there, if you can click up Brian's one, sorry.
Brian?
Is that, and that's the great thing about early war. You have that such. By late war, everyone had worked out how a tank works and everything. In early war, they had no idea. Little, the Charbis, Matildas, and was that a good idea, or we need something faster, or put people, what was this idea? How you put the people on motorcycles? Nathan says late war promotion is very straightforward, a bit less streamlined. The mid-war stuff. We're going to have two compilations. So you have the big desert compilation coming in February, and I talk about that in my Christmas video. But here it is. It's
North Africa.
North Africa with everything in there, and that's coming out in February. And that's 290 odd pages.
That looks thick.
Uh-oh. Are you spoiling?
Well.
Is he spoiling? Peter!
No, that looks great. That looks thick. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No spoilers, Pete.
But, yeah.
That looks great, though.
Yeah. You got a lot of people going, some wow. You probably have a lot of wows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a big, thick book, and we got some really cool army deals coming out as well. We've got
an army deal. So you do an army.
Very cool army deals called Tobruk.
Okay.
And
I'm like it.
You make his people mad.
Yeah.
Kasserine.
And Kasserine Pass. Nice.
Yep. So those are two army deals like the late war. Hit the beach one. Good value deals. So what other questions were there? Yeah, that's a big book. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of happy people popping up there. A lot of happy people.
Chris asked the question: campaign sets for Fate of a Nation, NAM or Great War? I don't know. Chris, I can't give you an answer on that. Sorry.
Yeah. Things like this. Like Gurkhas and those kind of guys.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why. Come on. as we fill stuff out, I don't see any reason not to put them in command cards.
You okay?
Yeah, I say Gurkhas, I start coughing.
Yeah, Brian, I know you want to look at it, but watch my video. It's all going to be very clear. Ryan will do some great graphics and everything. And next year we show off the boxes. We've got the boxes at work. So you'll see it all. Just hang in there. LRDG, it's in here. It's in here. LRDG as well.
Oh, long range.
Oh, no, sorry. That's early war. No, that's not. The LRDG is not in here. No. Sorry. I almost got myself out. No. That will be an early war when we do it, of course.
Okay. Yeah, the long range guys.
Yeah, this, and of course, this is. And we got some really cool. In February, this is all coming out with a really cool sale, some good value stuff, and we got some terrain packs for sale as well. If you want to get in the desert, February's a really good time.
Yeah, I know Brian jumped in late. Brian, next week Battlefront's doing an official video release of the schedule for 2022.
Right.
So we'll catch that. All those answers will be in that release next week.
Joe can link to it. You should link to the video.
Yeah, we'll link to it. Yeah, we'll most likely talk about it too. So
I don't mind. We got Mid-War Eastern Front. Sorry, Mid-War Desert in February, and then we got the Warsaw Pact book in April. May-ish will be German Bulge with the King Tiger, and then we're gonna. Yeah,
is that gonna be plastic? Is the King Tiger gonna be in plastic?
Yes, King Tiger, Jag Tiger, everything in plastic. Yes.
All right.
A very cool book. Yes, and I can show you some covers, guys. That's the Warsaw Pact book. Yeah.
Ooh. Almost those big helicopters.
And there he is. There's the German book.
Oh, right. Yeah, you put the beast right on the front. Nice.
Yeah, the beast is on the front. So we've got some cool new plastics coming out there. All plastic sets and, lots of cool stuff coming with there. The one I'm really excited about, I have to say, is the plastic Horde and the Fornice. But all the other ones will be in plastic. King Tiger, Jag Tiger. Yeah.
Plastic one's better than the paper one. That is so true there, John.
Yeah. And then we'll be going to the Eastern Front compilation, and then the end of the year will be rounded out with a couple of interesting books. The British Bulge, and another book you'll see of is Red Dawn. And that's got, obviously haven't got that here, so I can't show you the cover, but you'll see that on the Christmas video. And you might, it's something to do with American football and a particular team.
Wolverines.
Aye.
Come on. I'm a child of the 80s.
Yes, I
Wolverines! Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know how many times I've seen Red Dawn. I mean, and by the way, not the remake. Forget that noise. No, we're talking about the 80s one. That was...
No, don't watch the remake.
No. Yeah, the 80s one was fantastic.
I'm not convinced it was fantastic, but it was...
It was fantastic in the sense of I was, around that 12-year-old thing. We're like, oh, this is pretty cool, Yeah. With the, they attacked up the middle of the country, blah, blah, blah. It was like, I know it doesn't hold up well. It doesn't hold up well, but but still, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool. But the fact that you're calling it Red Dawn is pretty cool. And by the way, one of the things I want to get in, changing the planes.
Wait till you see the objective, and you might see, because that's got a really cool release. That's got a plastic BMD. And the objective one is really cool because it may be a guy sitting on a BMD under a sign, having a shake.
Okay.
And you can guess which sign. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a very cool tournament objective.
By the way, changing the World War III, the Team Yankee planes to plastic. Whoever that model company you guys got, that was brilliant because I don't know how many wings I've lost because it fell over and it snapped and stuff like that. But putting those little plastic models together and then it allows the wings to sweep.
Yes. No, that's unfortunately they're old plastic kits. They haven't quite got the etching that you'd like for painters. The depth of detail, and some of them are not that good. When we look, me and Chris sit down and we get a couple of each and we put it together, and if it's if I'm starting to get annoyed with them, my bits are sticking to my fingers, we don't go through. And because some of them are they're old kits, they're old plastic. So we're not going to do them all. We're going to do as many as we can and as much plastic as we can. They're worth doing. I agree. They're worth the extra effort, I think, for the end result. But they're just not worth us doing. They're just not. We can't economically make plastic aircraft kits. It is the missing bit we got, but yeah, this is the way this is the compromise, really.
Nathan.
But yeah, so Nathan, my wife heard the broadcast and instantly took my wallet away.
Smart wife, Nathan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So okay, so
Brian mentions the hind kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people have a lot of problems with it, and I have problems with some kits. Don't get me wrong; not all our kits are great. The hind, Brian. It could have been approved. That's certainly true. But I always liked that hind kit. Anyway, we did change one bit on it. We did strengthen up the bit around the rotor, so we could add. We knew, and we modified the whole rotor assembly and everything. So we did strengthen that area up. So I don't know if you got the older one, the new one. For something that size, that the rotor was a little, a little flimsy, and it Tom's there,
would rock. Yeah,
no, it'd break far too easily. It was too delicate. We've learned a lot in our plastic journey. It's been a journey.
When you first came out with the Stug and the Sherman, those first sprues, to now, night and day. Your modelers and your guys have nice learning curve. They took it right where they need to be. I like, I'm assembling things now. This is what the British tank. I was slapping these together and then I got some Martyr 2s. I'm looking forward to painting these. Matter of fact, I'm doing all my West Germans in winter camo. So all my stuff for West Germans is winter.
Ken's asked a question, and a couple other guys have asked about the vampire gear and stuff.
Which
there'll
one?
be Ken Horton's last question.
Sure.
They'll be in the Berlin book, Ken. They'll be in the Berlin book. Yes, we will bring some of those back. We will bring the night fighting gear back and stuff, but they will be in the Berlin book. So Berlin books.
And Berlin sounds 2023-ish, right?
Berlin. It may make it to the end of next year. The first book might come out the end of next year. You might have Christmas. You might. Listen. It's been a very difficult year, and I don't want to put dates on things. The factory was closed for 17 weeks. The factory was closed, and if you add things together, the factory was closed for 17 weeks. We had another 12 weeks were partially open only because of COVID restrictions, and then everything's taken a month or two more to ship now. You lose a lot of time. We've lost a lot of time.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that was kind of coming out of it, what I was going to discuss is that, I know I'm in logistics. So one of the things was we were, the company I was with decided that they were going to bring in things through, I just pulled it up here. Vancouver. Okay, so they were going to send things across the Pacific to Vancouver. I don't know if you heard this, but last month, Vancouver and Seattle and that whole other thing, they got a deluge of rain that washed out railroad tracks and roads. It just disaster. And there's not too many key railroad lines coming out of Vancouver because of the mountains. So we're like, oh, now we can't bring things through Vancouver. I'm going to tell you, being in logistics, trying to get stuff from overseas over here is nightmarish.
The last two releases for American Bowl, which were coming in a container to America, they were shipped to arrive last week in one of the East Coast ports, in New York or whatever. And we just got a message that it's delayed and it's coming into Los Angeles now. So what kind of shipping decisions were made to do that? I don't know. And it's just delays. It's a very difficult time in the world. It's just and the problem is that another example, Malaysia to the US, we used to pay about $2,500 per container. We paid recently up to $15,000. It's just and if you don't pay it, you get down to the wharf with a container and they say no. If you don't pay it, you can leave. We don't care. Yeah. And it's just we just get, especially smaller companies like us, we get a bit hammered hard. Sorry, Chris says boo there.
Yeah, he's saying boo because of all the transportation issues.
It's difficult, Chris. It is difficult. Yeah, but listen, I apologize for the delays this year. I do apologize. We have tried, but I do apologize, and it's not trying to make excuses, but it is what it is, and we just got to try to do better. And we have longer, and what we've done is we've extended our lead times to be much longer. So hopefully, when we promise a date, we can be reliable.
Yeah.
So the old lead times, and let's not even mention the air freight out of Malaysia, which is now at zero. We used to be able to cover ourselves with a bit of air freight. Oh, that hasn't quite make it. Let's send a bit by air, and we can cover ourselves. That's all gone. That's just don't have that option anymore.
Well, like Tom says here, Tom Burgess out of Kentucky. I would apologize because it's none of, obviously you're doing everything you can to get the stuff here. I work for a multi-billion-dollar company and we're having issues. Hell, we even own our own ships and we're having problems, So, you're trying to get a container or two through this mess. I'm thinking you're already adding like a month.
And then it ends up in the wrong port. Anyway, let's move forward to positive things. We've got lots of good, cool stuff coming out. Lots of cool plastics. I think lots of cool books. We've got lots of good deals coming together. I think we've got exciting times, and we can only look forward. That's all we can do. And we can. So, what are people's suggestions out there? What should we do that we're not doing, or something? Right? Let's get.
Oh yeah, I wonder if there's any early war stuff going to come through. But you're already discussing that, so
yeah, we will do early war compilations, and we want to get the mid-war finish done, and that's basically Desert, Eastern Front, and then Pacific. And Wayne's got lots of stuff for that Pacific compilation, and then we'll head to early war.
Yeah, and I think if you hit Italy and you hit Market Garden, then you're going to have already have Berlin, and you have D-Day. I think you hit all the big check box for the European theater. Oh, there was once again the Checkpoint Charlie time frame.
We haven't got a time for it. We've done some preliminary work on it, Chris. It is not currently in the schedule, but it all depends when we get some time. We will do it and fit it in the schedule. So I can't give you a time yet.
Yeah, here's some encouragement. Patrick out of Minnesota. If Battlefront keeps making it, we'll keep buying it. So he's one of our good guys out there. Not to say there's bad guys in Minnesota, guys, but you know. Yeah.
That's what Nathan. Oh yeah, yeah, cool, Jonathan.
Yeah. He's been playing since December 2004. He says it keeps getting better, and I agree with that. Well, for the Pacific Theater, which include the U.S. Army or just the Marines, hoorah.
Hoo-ha. I don't know. I'd have to speak to. I don't know. We asked a question for Wayne. There's a question up there. Is there anything from Nathan Cran up to just a few up at 6 up?
There's about late war supplement.
No, Nathan Cran about 6 up 3. Or Nathan Cran, I think. Is there anything that is truly new coming that BF hasn't done before?
Oh, anything new? Okay. So yeah, anything new.
Yeah, and I think that I think things like the Mouse and the Centurion and that sort of stuff, that you will see those come, and I think we're going to try to make. And I think the idea is to be all in plastic, and I think that's something quite cool that we want to do. Is and fill out the plastic stuff. We're doing the artillery now, and this sort of stuff is in the recon and stuff. So more and more of the plastic is what the future will hold. But certainly that post-war stuff, yes.
Okay. Thanks. Pretty cool. What? On our late war monsters. Oh, I guess the Mouse would be a late war monster. So,
yes, all those sort of things. Yes, plastic. You have plastic ones. Yes. And,
right.
Yeah.
See. Let's see here. The back of the envelope questions. We talked about this. Oh, you know what? Actually, we'll just take it off the beating path here. You a Beatles fan?
A who fan? Sorry.
Beatles, as in like John, Paul, George, Ringo.
Yeah, no, I don't mind their music. I'm not a huge fan.
Oh, okay. Because I had some downtime earlier this month, and I saw the Peter Jackson, which is a guy from New Zealand, and I saw an interview with him, and I realized something. You know, what's is kind of funny is he's in a plaid type shirt. His hair's a little long. You don't have a beard. And I was just thinking to myself, is this that a New Zealand kind of just demeanor?
It might be, yeah. It might be. We're country folk here. Actually, he came to my house when I was young when he did his first movie called terrible movie. And I had a few guns, and he borrowed. My flatmate particularly had a lot of guns, and he borrowed guns off us, and he ate our pizza. So we got to know him, but I honestly, of course, don't know him anymore. But actually, there's a video of his World War I collection in his warehouses with his World War I collection. He's got a huge World War I plane collection, but actually, there's a video of all his stuff, machine guns and everything else from World War I, uniforms, everything is. If you're interested in World War I, that video is well worth watching. The collection is just unbelievable. But we have a lot of that stuff down here. There's a guy I know in Cairns who has a tank museum. It's just very cool. We have a lot of stuff, lunatics down here that do a lot of very cool stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
And talking about doing cool stuff, you guys, Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots.
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah. So, Toys for Tots. That's kind of why we're here. One of the things with the drawing. I think Pete, we could want to bring John in and John Matthews.
I just want to say John probably had 274 participants and 22 stores involved. And I saw some pictures of the toys and stuff, just amazing. And I I have to say, I'm really impressed with that, and well done, guys. I'm really, well done. And I'd like to thank everyone out there who's listening. Yes, for the children, Patrick says there, and thank everyone for their support. And hopefully, 2022, I'm allowed out of the country and I come to America. I'm looking forward to getting to a few shows. You and me going for a meal, Joe. Meeting some of you guys. Come and grab me. I always want to talk to people. So please grab me if you see me in the show. But I'm looking forward to getting going. And particularly, it's been 2 years. I've been to our offices, both in America, KL, and in England, of course, Europe. But it's a great hobby, great people, and we appreciate, especially you tournament organisers and the guys that did the battle badges. Yeah, Ken, they're talking about had over 30 players. Amazing.
Oh, right.
And just a really
picture of that.
That's amazing.
The Battle Badgers right there from Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're great, and thank you to all of them. Thank you, guys, and I appreciate it. And we do appreciate the Battlefront, and we're stuck down here in the Never Land down in New Zealand, and we see some of the stuff, and it's very cool. So thank you.
No, Pete, thank you. Thank you for coming on and spending some time with us and getting to know a little bit more about you. And we did talk about you did divulge some of the stuff that's going to come up next week. So guys, going to check out that video when it comes out.
We'll make sure we link to it in Battle Rankings.
Oh yeah, we'll promote the hell out of it because it should be chock full of goodness for next year.
Because it's Pete.
Yeah.
And we love Pete.
So
we love you guys too. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. That's the thing, it's obviously been surreal for everyone. This is a bit of a thing, but we've got to get back out there, I suppose, and enjoy our hobby, enjoy our friends and our hobbies, and have fun.
Part of life. Pete, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, everyone.
So
everyone have a very, very Merry Christmas, and eat plenty and be merry. And I'll see you all in 2022.
All right. Yeah, we're looking forward to it, Pete.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Stay cool.
There we go. Well, anyway, with that, we're going to bring John in. Hello, John.
Hello. How is everybody?
Excellent. That was nice with Pete. Yeah.
Yes, I just want to say, please, when he comes to the shows, please come up and talk to him. Take him off my hands. I'll be only too grateful.
Yes. Well, one of the things that came up, I had some pictures of some games. So this is Able Company up here. When I was at Hard Knocks Games, we got some stores. The Minnesota guys, the Screaming Eagles. They got the Battle Badgers. These are some of the pictures I just swapped up. Where we could see guys, come in and the toys. I know there's another picture with the Battle Badgers that they took with the toys, but they had a nice mega battle.
They did.
That's pretty cool. That guys are getting into it and whatnot. John, you ready for this? I got an email today.
Hey, how is John's name spelled? Is it John or Jon?
No, you're absolutely right, John M.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure, because someone in the comments spelled it Jon. I just want to make sure it's spelled right.
Yeah, no, that's a Jonathan.
Kind of like the apostle.
UK, and I'm not a Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got an email from YouTube talking about my channel because they give me statistics on the channel. I usually get monthly statistics. They gave me one for the year. You ready for this? And by the way, I just been starting to promote the YouTube side of where I'm tuning the archives. 74,000 minutes of viewing.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
74,000 minutes. People have been seeing. Say hi, Ann. Anyway.
Hi, Ann.
Yeah. So That's people watching. And I've met people who said, hey, I saw this video. I liked it so much about like say movement or shooting or something like that. He goes, I must have watched it some sections 2 or 3 or 4 times just to get it in there. So our videos are going pretty good. And if you like what we're doing, hit the make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, Battle Rankings. Subscribe to the Facebook, hit the notification bell. That way you can, when we get on, that we're live. And of course, we have the archives there, which you can go back and watch. I've been organizing them into sections. In fact, that's what this section is here. So, masters, got rules section, books, the review of the books. So we got a lot of stuff going there. But John, let's talk about Toys for Tots and why most people are here, which is for the drawing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to reiterate, Pete, I just want to say thank you again to everybody who turned up, donated, did everything. I think very much how much this means to me as well. I've always liked this one. I think it's an absolute no-brainer, and I really don't understand why anybody wouldn't want to turn up and play. So it's, other than the hiccup of last year, but we all know why with, COVID, we're back to, we almost doubled the amount of stores doing it. Already starting the planning for next year. So again, anybody that's out there that feels their shop should have had one, please pester the owner or manager just to say, please, can we schedule one right now and get in there? And of course, in the absolute way of bribery, we will absolutely keep on giving out the prizes, and I do think they are some of the most generous prizes in the industry on this particular one, and it's because the cause is well worth it.
No, I do appreciate it because a little background. Able Company and myself, we started this like 10 years ago when we were doing it locally. I thought, hey, how can I make this bigger? I approached John. I said, hey, we're doing this. And John, you guys immediately got on board. And then beyond my wildest dreams, how you guys support it, which is you want to talk about the prizes because the neat thing is there is no store fee. Normally you play a tournament and stuff like that. No, it's all about you bring the toys. That's the donation.
Yep.
And then win, lose, or draw, or whatever, as long as you're there and you bring a toy, you get to be put in the drawing. And John, what can they win?
We've gone through with sort of 3 categories. What we sort of talked about was that we wanted it to be a much better chance of, getting something. So pretty much we look at how many participants there were, and then we want it to be about a 1 in 10 chance that you've got a chance of winning something. So this year there'll be 21 random draws. There's 5 big armies, and I know this sounds bad, but I've had a complete brain fart. How big are the armies again, Joe? Is it 100, 150 points, something like that? I
think 150.
Yeah, it's a full army of your choice. In there's a few little stipulations just because there can be some bizarreness with metal and resin and things like that. And it's like, no, come on, guys, play fair. And then the one that I can't remember who came up, I know we stole the idea from someone, was that you get your height in boxes to a minimum height of, I think, 5'8", just in case the name we pull out is, of a lad that's only 4'2" at the moment. It would seem to be rather ungenerous of us to say, oh, well, you're a midget. And of course, on every label there, I have everybody's height just so I can. No, I'm not lying. So yes, and that one is the choice of what you want, and then it's just literally stacked up, and tops out. And I think that's a sort of fun prize, but very serious value, obviously. But it's more about the height, really, and you get lots and lots of boxes of cool stuff.
Yeah.
My wife is now going, if we were cheapskates, we could put them on end, and then we'd only have to give away 4 boxes. But no, darling, they're all flat, the lowest distance. Yeah, the cheap seats at the back there.
Yeah, I'm double checking the Army stuff. 150 point Army.
Yeah.
Up to a $500 retail.
Yeah, I think that's the thing there is when you look at that, that is an army that's going to be able to, you're going to be able to fill out your choices in it. It's not like you've got to absolutely go, right, I've got to build this to 108 because that's what the tournament is. This gives you the ability to try a few things out, have enough to go, you know what, I can chop and change. That should be a full list in there. So, yeah, we're very pleased on that one to be able to give it away.
Yeah.
So not much to do then. Shall we get down to this?
I think we start with the 5 armies.
Start with the 5 armies. Now, I just want to show off our very well-wrapped little thing, and the names are all in there. So here we go. Here's the first one. So it is John Mitchell, and I'm going to write these down as well because last year I didn't, and I had to go back to Joe.
Yeah, John Mitchell.
And he's from Showcase Comics in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, PA, awesome.
Let's rummage around well. And we have got, oh dear, I think we should put this one back. It's Chris Fretz.
No way.
No. No.
Thanks, Chris. I'll cash the check later. Hard Knocks Games.
Okay. So it's when he went to Hard Knocks Games. Yeah, that's actually going to be at a Family Time Games for him.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right, yeah.
Right. How tall are you, Chris?
Yeah, we
Rigged, Justin, Brian.
It's Justin D. Payne. And from Millennium Hobbies in New Jersey.
Jersey?
Hello,
Ken. Yeah.
I'm tired.
Okay. Oh, and we do.
How did you spell his last name, Justin?
That was Chris Fretz again.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, sorry, I don't know how that one sneaked in there because it should be only the one. So this is Shannon Bushell. Critical Hits in Maryland.
Okay. In Maryland.
Which is actually my local store.
All right, and the last
and
one.
The last army is
Joyce, what exit?
Yeah.
Brittany Skinner, though it actually says Skinner Brittany.
Okay. Of Hard Knocks?
Station Retro, Alabama.
Stacy. I wonder if that is it.
Brittany.
Brittany.
Oh, it's Brittany Skinner.
Skinner. Yeah, Brittany Skinner.
Yeah.
Skinner. Anyway. Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Okay. And now we're into the last one. Now,
all right. Yeah. Here's the grand prize. The
dun
one.
Dun dun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, just before I pull these out, just so everybody knows, is we're not going to go through the 21 randoms there because nobody really wants to just hear me reading out name after name after name. They'll do this, and then I'll get these straight over to you, Joe, and we'll get them posted up, or I think, well before the end of the week type thing. Okay, so here we go. Here is the last one.
All right.
And it is. Oh, well, that's great. It's somebody called Henry in Meeple Manor, Washington. Why it hasn't got a surname, I have no idea.
Henry?
Yep, that's the only name I have got so far. But we do have the other details there. So I will get that thing. Now, the thing with that is you can see that this is live, because if it wasn't, I would definitely be looking at that going, what the hell? So I forgive you there. Forgive me there on the Henry, but I've got it. I will find it out and I'll get that straight away to you as well, Joe, the surname. But
And
hopefully Henry knows who he is.
And what store is that on Washington?
Meeple Manor in Washington.
Meeple. Oh, which is
Maple Manor.
Maple or Meeple?
No, Meeple. Meeple Manor.
Oh,
Meeple's another name for
Little playing pieces.
A little playing piece that's like a human. It's supposed to be
Really?
a person. Yeah, Meeple.
Yeah, it's very common in Europe with their little Euro-style games. They have meeples, normally very like that with their arms and legs sticking out at triangles.
Yes.
So, wow, okay. So, a bunch of East Coast and also the big winners, a West Coast guy. That's awesome.
He is indeed. He is indeed. So,
I got one guy from the middle of the United States, too.
Well, yeah.
Chris.
France. By the way, who's originally from Virginia. So, so yeah, he transport to Hoosier land. So, John, that is awesome. So we got those out. I know you're going to get the. We'll get the other names out and get them posted. And then, of course, we got to get the stores involved because that's their primary contact for the prizes.
It is.
And I think, you know what? I think we have a good trajectory. 270 some odd people, 22 stores. So the goal next year is more.
Is
more stores, more people.
Absolutely. I think that's the one is we'll keep banging the drum, doing that sort of thing. And again, the other one is it can be any sort of event as well. You were telling me of one where it was just 30 points late war and they were playing on a 3x3.
Yeah.
Is nothing wrong with that at all. It's not one where it has to be a stickler to the format. It can be a large game. Can be, it could even be a bring all your miniatures in, put them together, do a painting fest, whatever you want. It's really getting together and hobbying in some fashion. And yeah, you had to bring a toy along because that's what it's really all about. We get to a lot of things because we're hopefully not entitled, that's the wrong word, privileged, maybe in that some way to degrees. And let's make sure that we share the wealth a bit. Yeah,
exactly.
End of my preaching.
Oh, no, it's all about the kids. I like to actually go shopping for some of that stuff. And, I'm like, the boy, girl,
The only one thing actually we ought to maybe mention, Joe, is because you've been doing this a lot longer than me and you and I we often talk behind the scenes, is one of the toys that seems to not be allowed or is frowned upon is Nerf weapons, isn't it?
Yes, Nerf guns.
So I scratch my head at that. I'm old. I've always grown up with little cap guns and everything like that. But I think that's worth saying out there to people is, don't just go for the Nerf gun because their rules are that they don't hand them on.
Yeah, actually, so I have under authority, what happens is the Marines that actually do the sorting for the toys will pull the Nerf guns out, and then a Nerf gun war will break out between the Marines.
Which is a good use of the Nerf gun. I am all for that and would love to participate. But if we are going along the true fashion of, we do want these to get to the little end user people, those ones particularly at this time and climate or whatever you want to call it, aren't going to make it. So I would sort of shy away from those a bit, which I do think is a bit of a shame, but dem's the rules.
Yeah, and well, you know, I know most of us guys go, oh, what boy wouldn't mind a rapid fire, Nerf gun or super soaker or something stupid like that, and because we're like, because the thing is, you go through and you go, oh, this is cool, and you're like, if you think it's gonna cool, some kid's gonna think it's cool. And unfortunately, someone made an executive decision about nothing representing a firearm.
Yeah.
That's fine. But there's plenty of things: Legos, Play-Doh.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a plethora.
Tons of stuff.
Games.
Yeah, games. I've seen games. Anyway, we can give you backgammon. Yeah, what kid is going to go, boy, I love backgammon, Or what's the game? Mastermind.
No, I used to play Mastermind when I was a kid. I loved it. I thought it was a great little game. Maybe it's because I could understand the rules,
right?
Because it's so simple.
But there's plenty of stuff to get the kids out there, and what's pretty cool. I like taking the big bunch of toys and taking it to the collection. Because I hand it off to the collection spot, and when I pull up, I go, "Hey, I need a hand." Hey, this is a drop-off spot. Yeah, right. Okay, hey, I need a hand. All of a sudden, they come out and they're like, my SUVs, the entire back end's just full of toys, and they're like, "Wow, this is awesome." Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It warms the cackles.
Absolutely. You can't, be the person who drops off. Do it vicariously by donating and go from there. I mean, even if you can't get to an event, there's loads of places that you can drop off a toy.
Yep.
Yeah. The last time we were over in the UK, my wife was going through and looking at it, and they do an Easter egg drop-off thing. And it was the same thing as, well, they had them on offer, so we bought 24. And you could see the people going, are these all for us? And it's like, yes. One Easter egg's great, but if you can, afford to pass it on a little bit, I'm a great believer in paying it forward. So good one. And again, thank you again for everybody doing it. And again, I've said this many a time, but I'll do it again. Thank you for actually thinking of us, Joe, and getting the ball rolling right in the beginning.
Well, that's the kind of heart I have.
That's cool.
Thanks, John. And by the way, when you have your next meeting with Pete, tell him thanks. I thought it went very well, and look forward to doing it again next year.
Yeah, no, that's it. You definitely surprised him with asking him about himself. He's not used to that sort of thing. He's quite a humble man in many ways, where he doesn't like talking about himself.
Right.
He much more enjoys talking about what other people are doing. He finds it a bit. Oh, well, I like the limelight, but I don't like it on me. So you did well there. You did well.
No, thank you.
If everything's there, I'm going to go off and finish my cheesecake.
Ooh. All right. Well, bon appetit. Oh, by the way, John.
I send them out with a haka?
Yeah, you know what? Two things. This is really an international day for us here. Because my wife had a friend from France that she was taking around town today.
Well, I didn't take her down that town. I took her down to Nashville.
Well, I mean, you were taking her around town. I wasn't going to get into everything. Right. So we had France, New Zealand, and you're originally from?
Rhodesia.
Yeah, so it's just, it's kind of like a small world thing going on here. But
that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, I did have a question about, I was going to ask him, in high school, did you learn the haka? And since we played as an intro, he comes out and says, hey, by the way, in grade school, we all learned the haka. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. No, he knows the haka, so do his kids. I mean, it is, you see often when you're driving around New Zealand, I lived there for 3 years, and you will often see all the school children in the field, in the sports fields, all, I'm going to say, huckering away. I'm sure that's not correct, but you do see it. And there are quite a few emotional videos where you'll see it. I remember one especially in a young student died.
Oh.
And then the sort of two groups of friends were huckering in the way of sending him off. And it'll still bring a tear to my eye type thing. And it's not my culture type thing. But
Right.
when you see it there and the way they use it, it is very emotional. It's got feeling to it. They don't take it lightly in a way that it's there. It has meaning. Quite touching, really.
Oh well, it's definitely a cultural thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can certainly appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
extremely appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it is their culture.
Mhm.
Kind of like Americans have jazz, they have that's their thing.
Right.
And when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I instantly think of New Zealand.
Yep.
No question.
Oh yeah, and then Patrick's here saying that they dance the polka. Anyway.
Okay.
In Minnesota.
Minnesota.
They dance the polka.
Yeah. Oh, John, the thing is, I totally missed the whole thing about the Croatian, because Pete's Croatian descent.
Yes.
Yeah, and I forgot. So when I moved to New York, I took a job, and one of the purchasing agents in that company was from Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia.
Yeah, and I'm getting, this is my first day where they're taking you around and introducing you to everybody, and he's like, oh, by the way, it was at a time that you could actually smoke in the office. He's smoking, he goes, and like really bad European cigarettes. He's smoking, he goes, you're Slovak, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I'm Polish descent. He goes, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. I'm like, wow, what? Did I offend? What? I'm like, this, anyway.
So I'm going to ask you then. So, if you're Polish descent, where did Lewis come from?
That's that my mom's side is Polish, 100% Polish.
Right.
My dad's side is Pennsylvania Dutch.
Right.
Which that's where the Lewis came from. And
gotcha.
And by the way, and that side of the family's been here for eons.
Yeah.
That side of the family fought in the Civil War when they were in Pennsylvania. So they were in some of the Pennsylvania.
So you have but you also have some Scotch or Orange Irish in there.
Yeah, Orange Irish. Yeah, Orange Irish with the Pennsylvania Dutch.
The Lewis is actually a Welsh name.
Yeah,
it can be, yes, yeah. But you also find that when you talk to Americans who obviously have their ancestors have emigrated here, you'll find that quite a lot of names were shortened when they got to Staten Island. And Staten Island, wasn't it?
Well, and that's where the garbage goes. No, Ellis Island.
Ellis Island. I do apologize. You can see
my family came through Ellis Island. Both sides. But
because the people that were there weren't the most educated, of course, when somebody comes out with a long name, it was, yeah, all right, Lewis, you're now Lewis. And the amount of stories I've heard of like that from Americans going, yeah, but our name was, but they couldn't spell it, so it became this. And especially if you had English, Scottish, Irish, whatever people doing it, they would sort of revert it to more of an Anglo-Saxon type name. I was just wondering if your rallies were a bit like that, and suddenly your name was taken away from you a bit.
Well, actually, because my dad's side was here before Ellis Island,
right?
So, Yeah, that Pennsylvania Dutch. So basically, when the Quakers came over, they were coming over too. So
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you long time history then.
right, and then my mom's side of the family is like my great grandmother came across. So and then grandfather was the first. He served in World War II. He was a quad 50 gunner.
Wow.
He was in the Battle of the Bulge.
Cool.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
but,
I've got nothing exciting like that in my family. Sadly, they were either too young for World War One or too young for World War Two.
They weren't part of some type of independence movement. Throw the British out or something.
No, because when they went to Rhodey, it was after World War Two. Again, actually, my relatives would have done the same. Been on the same program as Pete's father, which was when the UK did this whole you can emigrate as long as you have £10.
Okay.
And Pete's father went to New Zealand. His brothers went to Australia. My relatives went to Rhodesia and South Africa, and my wife's relatives went to Canada. So, in that one, as you were saying about the multi-country sort of thing, sort of spread all for 70 quid.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely the British Empire has a lot to answer for.
Right.
Cool. Right then, well, I'm going to love you and leave you.
All right.
Thank you again, everybody. And again, you and I will talk soon. If I don't get to speak to you, Joe, before Christmas, obviously, Merry Christmas. And to everybody that I'm not going to talk to before Christmas, still Merry Christmas. And we'll see, hopefully, in the shows. They all seem to be starting up and raring to go. So I think our first one is going to be Adepticon. And I think the first big show of the year is going to be the LA Open, isn't it?
Well, actually, funny you should mention that. I don't know if you guys are not going to Las Vegas Open, right?
We aren't, but we've got Chad, who remember used to work for us. He's going to be there, and another gentleman that I have forgotten his name at the moment, which is really bad. But they seem to be raring to go at the moment.
Christian Sorensen.
Yes, him. Yep. Yeah, so that one will be there. So that's the first one that we, look at as the nationals. I know there are other tournaments, but that's the first one. And then I'll be out in Adepticon in March.
Yeah. And by the way, I've been talking to the Adepticon people. When the tickets go on sale, we're going to do something with them.
Oh, cool.
In January. So to kind of promote that. So just kind of FYI and little inside baseball there for you guys. So
yeah. That's good.
Yeah, because Adepticon's looking to do more historical.
Yes.
Add historical to their science fiction side. So
and it's good again to still see Hard Knocks with Wolf's Creek. I really enjoyed that time I went down with and met up with Tom, and that was a lovely tournament.
Oh yeah, Wolf Creek. Yeah, that was that's brand. They announced it when I was there this past weekend. So yeah, March 12th and the 13th, they're gonna do 110 Bulge, red versus blue.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at doing some American.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a good looking first quarter there. There's some nice little tournaments there.
Yeah. It's as people go, I keep adding them, and as we go. So yeah, we got some tournaments, got some tournaments that are shaping up for a primer for Las Vegas. Then you got CincyCon, Hard Knocks games with Wolf Creek, then Adepticon. I'm expecting to see some mid-war 105 stuff start popping up in February.
Yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
So,
cool.
John, thank you. And I'll be catching you later.
Nice one. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'll say goodbye.
Goodbye. So there we go. So we got. So I kind of wrote down what the winners were. So for the Armies, John Mitchell from Pennsylvania, Chris Fretz, a newcomer.
From Indy.
Yeah, from Indianapolis of all places. It was Justin. Did you get Justin's last name?
No.
No, and then a Shane. Justin's from New Jersey. Guess we won't hold it against him.
Yeah.
Shane is from Maryland.
Shane or Shannon?
Shannon.
Okay.
And then, wait a minute. Was that the Brittany Shannon?
I don't know.
No.
No. This is the next one, I think.
And then, Brittany Shannon or Shannon Brittany. I don't know. I gotta look to see what that one is. And then a Henry from Washington won. We have to find out what Henry's last name is. So some lucky dog from Washington State. So anyway, there you go. There's that. Remember, as we're gonna get going, signing off here. YouTube. That's where we're putting all the archives in there. Check it out. Notification. Hit subscribe. Do that here. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button or a little love button or where the little heart button. And you know what? I think Ann, you want to play us out?
Sure, I'll play us out in honor of Pete and John. I'm gonna give them a haka.
All right.
Okay.
All that's a slap in their chest and stuff. I wonder what the translation is. Like, it's it's like a lovely day. The sky is blue. I'm just wondering what they're saying. By the way, how do they train to get that crazy look in their eye?
It's just part of it.
Ooh, there we go, everyone. Hey, everyone! Remember, next week is our Christmas special.
We're still figuring out what we're doing.
No, it's all together. Got the elves ready. Got Santa's sleigh. We're actually running reindeer. Anyway, we'll see you next week with our Christmas special. Have a good one, and see you then.